On March 8, 2014, a Boeing 777 carrying 239 people took off from Kuala Lumpur, Malaysia. Destination, Beijing, China. It was a routine overnight flight, 6 hours. Dozens of airlines fly this route every single day. 38 minutes after takeoff, the pilots made routine contact with air traffic control. Everything was normal. Then, the transponder went silent. The plane disappeared from radar. No distress call, no emergency signal, no wreckage, no trace. In the days that followed, governments across the world launched the largest and most expensive aviation search in human history. And after 12 years, hundreds of millions of dollars, multiple search missions, covering over 200,000 square kilometers of ocean floor, 239 people total, representing 14 different nationalities, families, students, engineers. And why, even now, no one knows what really happened. It was late on the night of March 7, 2014, at Kuala Lumpur International Airport in Malaysia. Passengers were boarding Malaysia Airlines Flight 370, a Boeing 777-200ER, one of the most advanced and reliable commercial aircraft ever built. A Boeing 777-200ER, one of the most advanced and reliable commercial aircraft ever built. On board, 227 passengers and 12 crew members. 239 people total, representing 14 different nationalities, families, students, engineers, a group of Chinese artists returning home from an exhibition. In the cockpit, Captain Zahari Ahmad Shah, a highly experienced pilot with over 18,000 hours of flight time. He had been flying for Malaysia Airlines for 33 years. By any measure, he was one of the most qualified pilots on that route. Alongside him, First Officer Fariq Abdul Hamid, 27 years old, still relatively new, but trained and certified. The flight took off at 12:41 a.m. local time. For the first 38 minutes, everything was completely normal. The plane climbed to 35,000 feet. The crew checked in with Kuala Lumpur Air Traffic Control. Passengers settled in for the overnight journey. At 1:19 a.m., the crew made their final radio contact. Captain Zahari's last recorded words to air traffic control were, "Good night, Malaysia 370. And then, silence. Within minutes of that final radio call, something extraordinary happened. The plane's transponder was manually switched off. The plane vanished from civilian radar screens, but it didn't crash, not yet. Military radar continued tracking an unidentified aircraft, which investigators later confirmed was MH370. It made a sharp, deliberate turn. Instead of continuing northeast toward Beijing, the plane turned sharply to the west. It flew back across the Malaysian peninsula, over the Strait of Malacca, and then turned south, deep into the Indian Ocean. Away from everything, away from land, away from shipping lanes, away from any radar coverage. Whoever, or whatever, was controlling that plane appeared to be deliberately avoiding detection. The plane flew for approximately 7 more hours. After its transponder was switched off, 239 people were still on board, and no one, not air traffic control, not the airline, not any government, knew where they were going. Flight MH370 failed to arrive in Beijing at 6:30 a.m. The alarm was raised. Malaysia Airlines lost contact. Chinese authorities confirmed the plane had never entered their airspace. Within hours, it was global news. The disappearance of a modern Boeing 777 in the age of GPS and satellite tracking seemed almost impossible. How do you lose a plane that size? Initial search efforts focused on the South China Sea, the last known radar position. Ships and aircraft from several nations scoured the waters. They found nothing. Days passed, then a week, then 2 weeks. The families of the 239 people on board were in agony. Press conferences, conflicting statements, and no answers. Then, a breakthrough that would change everything. A British satellite company called Inmarsat revealed that their satellite had been receiving automatic electronic pings from MH370. These were not communications, just automated handshakes. The last ping was received at 8:19 a.m., more than 7 hours after the transponder went dark. On March 24, 2014, 16 days after the disappearance, Malaysian Prime Minister Najib Razak made a devastating announcement. Flight MH370 ended in the southern Indian Ocean. For the families watching at home, this was not a rescue mission anymore. It was a recovery mission. What followed was unlike anything aviation had ever attempted. The search zone was enormous. A remote stretch of the southern Indian Ocean, thousands of miles from land. Waves routinely exceeded 10 meters. The seafloor terrain was mountainous and largely unmapped. Australia took the lead in coordinating the underwater search. Ships equipped with sonar technology scanned hundreds of thousands of square kilometers of ocean floor. And then, on July 29, 2015, a breakthrough. On a beach on Réunion Island, locals found a piece of aircraft debris, a wing component called a flaperon. It was confirmed. It came from MH370. Over the next 2 years, 26 more pieces of debris washed ashore. The ocean had given tiny clues. But the main wreckage, the fuselage, the black boxes, the answers, remained on the ocean floor. Somewhere. 3 major government-funded search operations. A private search by Ocean Infinity in 2018. Another search between 2025 and January 2026, using the most advanced underwater robotics ever deployed. Total seafloor searched, over 200,000 square kilometers. Result, nothing. On March 8, 2026, exactly 12 years after MH370 disappeared, Ocean Infinity officially announced their latest search had ended. Without a single confirmed finding, MH370 remains missing. So what actually happened? After 12 years, investigators, governments, and independent researchers have proposed multiple theories. None have been conclusively proven. But here are the most significant ones. Theory 1, pilot suicide. This is the most widely discussed theory. The evidence that supports it is significant. The transponder was manually switched off. The plane made a deliberate course change. There were no distress calls. And critically, investigators found that a route into the southern Indian Ocean matching MH370's likely flight path had been flown on Captain Zahari's home flight simulator. Some experts believe Zahari deliberately depressurized the aircraft and then flew the plane to a remote location where it would never be found. Former Australian Prime Minister Tony Abbott stated in 2020 that senior Malaysian officials told him they believed it was a murder-suicide by the captain. Theory 2, catastrophic onboard event. Some believe a sudden emergency, a fire or a sudden decompression, may have incapacitated the crew. The plane may have continued flying on autopilot for hours before running out of fuel and crashing. This would explain the lack of a distress call. Theory 3, hijacking. In the early days, hijacking was heavily considered. 2 passengers had boarded with stolen passports, though they were later found to be migrants. Most investigators have moved away from this theory. The flight path, deep into the southern Indian Ocean with no landing sites, makes hijacking almost impossible to explain. The uncomfortable truth is this: without the black boxes, without the main wreckage, we may never know. Every other major crash, we know what happened. We learned from it. MH370 gave us nothing. No answers, no lessons, no closure. Perhaps the most devastating part of this story is not the mystery. It is the people left behind. 239 people were on that plane. Every single one of them had someone waiting for them. For 12 years, mothers, fathers, children have lived without answers. Families have held vigils every year on March 8th. Many have refused to accept the Malaysian government's declaration that there are no survivors. One family advocacy group, Voice 370, has fought for over a decade to keep the search alive. For these families, this is not a cold case. This is still happening. Somewhere at the bottom of the southern Indian Ocean, the answers are waiting. The black boxes, the truth, hidden beneath miles of dark, cold water. As of today, 12 years later, Malaysia Airlines flight MH370 has never been found. It is the only major commercial aviation disappearance where we still don't know why. And until someone finds it, every theory remains just that, a theory. If this video made you feel something, subscribe. The families of MH370 deserve answers, and so do you.